the last time we had you on, Ian, you mentioned how before games you meet with the teams. You mentioned meeting Dan Rooney and a sweaty Bill Cowher who would come in after playing racquetball.
Yes.
Is there ever like a pregame meeting, whether it's the Steelers or another team, that was most memorable in your career?
Well, I'm not just tossing out hyperbole here. I have obviously met with everybody other than the new head coaches this year. You name a head coach since 1998, I've met with them. So some are one meeting, two meetings, if it's NFC based, and I don't see that team as often, but I've met with everybody. And Mike Tomlin is the best guy in these meetings. And I'll give you a few reasons why. He's transparent. There's not a question out there that you can't ask him. There are other coaches that you know going in, I don't think I can go there because if I do, it's going to set a tone for the rest of the meeting. Mike Tomlin will tell you, you ask me anything, I'm going to give you the answer I need to give, but you can ask. So the basic premise, Chuck Daly years ago, I've done net games for a long time. Chuck Daly was the head coach of the Nets, and I had to interview him for something, and it was not an easy topic. Derek Coleman, there was an issue. And before the interview, I said to Chuck, hey, look, I got to ask you about this. And he said, you can ask whatever you want. He said, there are no tough questions, only tough answers. And it always stuck with me. He's so right. It's based on the person that has to deal with the questions and how they want to deal with it. Mike Tomlin deals with your questions because he's straightforward and transparent. And then the reality is just what he brings. Ike knows better than anybody. Positivity, walks into that meeting room, upbeat, walks into the meeting room, curious about you, what's going on with you. Not many coaches care. He actually cares. He asks questions. This is just not the norm. So production meetings are what they are. Some of them are often pretty standard, and you look at your yellow pad at the end of it, you say, there's not a whole lot that I can use on the air. Right. But fortunately, when you get the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to get the real deal, and you're going to get a feel for the team because the head coach, his comportment is such that he's willing to share, and he's willing to treat you like a professional.
That's interesting. Coach T, you know this as well. Coach T just different.
Yep.
Like in a good way. Like,
yep.
He just make it easy. As much as going on around him being a head coach, I call him a CEO as well of the Pittsburgh Steelers, because you got to be in charge of a lot of moving parts, including, his staff on the coaching part and players that's going to play for him in the organization. He just make it fun and easy. And a lot of coaches just don't get that part, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of guys, they don't want to leave Pittsburgh because of Coach T. Like, they'll rather stay for a couple of dollars less because they already know, just hearing it from other guys coming from other teams, Coach T. Just ask Miles Jack, for instance. Like, Miles, man, Coach T's just fun to work with. You know what I'm saying? You got Devin Bush, who's coming off or his contract is coming up. Coach T has been so transparent to him on what's going on with that situation. But he don't want to leave.